Hello, welcome back to Mrs. Torres' YouTube channel. So, yesterday we found all the possible roots, right? That was our P's over Q's. Let me just remind you what our possible roots for this equation are. So, plus or minus 1, plus or minus half, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 3 halves, and plus or minus 6. So those are our possible rational solutions. Today, we are going to figure out which are actually our possible solutions. So if a number is a root or a zero or a solution, remember those all mean the same thing, to a polynomial, then when you plug it in for x, you will get what? You'll get 0, right? That was just like when we factored, we got like x plus 1, 3x minus 7 equals 0. And we use the zero product property, because if one of these equals 0, that's a solution. So let's test the ones above. Now, we knew that 2 was the solution, right? Because I had told you that originally. So if we plug 2 into our equation, we should get 0. Let's see. 2 times 2 cubed minus 2 times 2 squared minus 2 minus 6. Does that equal 0? We can just plug it into our calculator and find out. I guess you can see it. Oh, there, you can see the calculator better. Okay, so 2 times 2 cubed minus 2 times 2 squared minus 2 minus 6 equals 0. So that means 2 is a solution. Now we could go through and check all of these solutions to see if they equal 0, but there's a calculator shortcut. So, first step to our calculator shortcut, type equation into our x equals. Or sorry, not x equals, y equals. So y equals, clear out whatever you have there, and type in our equation. So 2x cubed minus 2x squared minus x minus 6. Then you are going to press table set. So table set is right here above window in blue. That means we have to hit second and then window. And this should pop up. Yours might look a little different than mine. What you're going to do is you're going to change the independent to ask. So let's write that down. Independent set to ask. So yours might already be on ask, but if it's not, you scroll over to ask and hit enter. Then when you go back up, ask should be highlighted instead of auto. Our third step, go to your table and enter your P's over Q's into X and look for when y equals 0. So we have our variable, independent variable set to ask. Then to get to table, we have to hit second, graph. That'll take us to the table. Now what this allows you to do, since we changed it to ask, instead of this automatically filling out, you're going to be able to plug in all of your values. So let's look up at our P's and Q's here. We have 1 and -1. So 1 negative 1. Then we have half and negative half. So 0.5, negative 0.5. Then we have 2 and negative 2. So 2, negative 2. Now, the only thing with when you enter your x values, you're only able to enter 2, 4, 6, 7 x values before you have to restart it. So what I would do, type in 6, look for any zeros. So notice when x equals 2, y equals 0. So that means 2 is a solution, which we already knew, right? But this checks out. Then we go back, 3, negative 3, 3 halves, negative 3 halves. Remember, when you're entering a fraction, you can just put division. And then 6 and negative 6. Notice there's no other y's that are 0. So that means our only rational solution is x equals 2. Which we already knew, right? But now we have it, we know why. Because before I kind of just told you. Alright, so here's some practice. I'm going to do the first one together. We're going to find all the possible solutions and then test them to find which ones are actual solutions. So let's list our p's. Well, that's pretty easy. It's just plus or minus 1. Our q's, we have plus or minus 1 and plus or minus 2. So our p's over q's are plus or minus 1, plus or minus 1/2. That makes our life a little easier. Now what we're going to do, go into our y equals and enter our expression. So 2x cubed plus 5x squared plus 4x plus 1. We don't have to go back to table set every time. It should still be on ask. If you have your own calculator, this will never set back to auto. If you're using one of my calculators, it's possible that my geometry kids changed it back to auto for some reason. So just make sure it's ask. And then go into your table and enter all your p's over q's. So we have 1, negative 1, 1/2, negative 1/2, and delete those other ones. We only have 4 possible solutions, so it's kind of easy for this one. So let's see, we'll look for zeros. Well, it looks like when x is negative 1, y is 0. That means that's a solution. So x equals negative 1. Then we look for any other ones. It looks like when x is negative 1/2, y is 0. So that means negative 1 and negative 1/2 are solutions. So tomorrow, we're going to take these and we are going to find all solutions. So irrational and imaginary. But for now, we're just looking for rational. So that's it for today. See you tomorrow.